Okay, this is the fourth video of your Section 5 Word Problems section of your Unit 9 flipbook about circles. Let's go ahead and move on to the next problem. A windshield wiper is 45 centimeters long. One sweep covers an angle of 115 degrees. Calculate the distance the end of the wiper travels in one sweep. The end of the wiper, and we're looking for distance. That means, class, we're not looking for area, we are looking for arc length. Area would be calculate the area or size, but this is distance. And they gave us a diagram of a car windshield wiper blade. They labeled this 115 degrees, and they're telling us that this is the distance traveled. That looks like the arc length. So we know this problem is dealing with arc length. And looks like they've given us all the information we need to solve it. We don't have to figure anything else out. Let's go ahead and set up our proportion. So we know that we want to find the distance traveled. Let's just label that as x. So our distance traveled over the, we're going to need to know the circumference of this circle. Oh, we can find the circumference. Sorry, let's do that first. The windshield wiper is 45 centimeters long. That is a radius. So I'm going to write here, this is 45 centimeters, and that's our radius. That means our circumference is 2 pi r, which is 2 pi times 45, which is 90 pi, and we can write that that's 90 pi centimeters. All right, now we can set up our proportion. X is going to be the distance it traveled. There's our arc length. So x over the total circumference of the circle, which is 90 pi, is equal to the measure of our central angle. That's the measure of this arc x. The measure of arc x is equal to the measure of the central angle. We're going to assume that's the center of the circle, and that's going to be 115 degrees over a total circle of 360 degrees. Remember, class, I'm going to go ahead and label this again. This is information about the arc we are figuring out. This is information about the entire circle. Put 2 dots there. Let's try to put one right in the middle. Good enough. So we've got 90 pi, that's the whole circumference. 360 is the total degrees. All we got to do now is solve our proportion. So 360 times x is 360x. 9 pi times 115 is 115, times 90 pi. Now, so far, class, on these problems, I have been multiplying the 115 times the 90. The reason is because that's giving me my exact answer, so let's do that. This is the same as 360x equals 115 times 90 equals 10,350. So 10,350. Again, don't forget, pi has not been resolved yet, so pi is still in the answer. Do not drop pi until you've actually calculated it out. All right, final step is, let's go ahead and divide both sides by 360, and that means x equals 10,350 pi over 360. Now that's our exact answer. That'll give us exactly the length of this arc, or the distance the end of the wiper travels. Let's go ahead and find an approximation for that using our calculator. So 10,350 times pi divided by 360 equals 90.32. We can round that to 90.3, approximately 90.3. and that's a length, and that's just in centimeters. So our final answer should be written in a sentence, and let's do that. The distance traveled. That's right from here. The distance the end of the wiper travels. I could have written the distance the end of the wiper travels, or the distance traveled is 90 point, that's a 0, 90.3 centimeters. Again, we're looking at arc length. That means we're not going to put centimeters squared. That'd be the area that the wiper covers. All right, that one's done. Let's take a look at the next one. The beam from a lighthouse. Oh, back to this one, class. Yeah, you've got to figure out what they're asking you. Is it area, or is it length, or is it measure, which would be in degrees? All right, next one. The beam from a lighthouse reaches a distance of 6 miles. Looks like they've labeled that already, 6 miles. And spreads to an angle of 42 degrees. Looks like they've labeled that as well. What is the area covered by the lighthouse beam? So they want to know sector area. That's the part inside here. So we don't care about how long this arc is. We want to know how much area this lighthouse beam covers. Well, I can see from the diagram that our radius is equal to 6 miles, which I can abbreviate MI. Our central angle is 42 degrees. All we got to do now is figure out the total area of the circle, and then we can set up our proportion. So area is equal to pi r squared, which is equal to pi times 6 squared, which is equal to 36 pi, and we're looking at miles squared. Miles squared. 36 pi miles squared. That's the whole circle. Now we can use that to find the sector area, or just the area of this one slice of our circle. The way we set that up is, let's say the area that we're looking for is x. X over the total area, which is 36 pi, is equal to the measure of our central angle for this sector, which is 42 degrees, over a total circle of 360 degrees. Again, look at just like our last problem. The top two numbers are dealing with our sector area, the total area, and the measure, the angle measure of the sector. And then the bottom is our circle, total area of the circle, and the total degrees of the circle. Let's go ahead and cross multiply. X times 360 is 360x is equal to 42 times 36 pi. Let's multiply 42 times 36, and that's 1512. So 360x equals 1512 times pi. All right, divide both sides by 360, and that's going to give you x equals 1512 pi over 360. Let's see what that is approximately. 1512 times pi divided by 360 equals 13.19. That's 13.2. So 13.2 miles squared. So our final answer can be written as a sentence. The area covered, I'm just picking this up right from the question. What is the area covered by the beam? The area covered by the beam is 13.2 miles squared.